Hey YouTube, how's it going today? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. What did you do? We went on a bike ride. It got a little bit rainy, but it was still really fun. And then of course, near the very end of the ride, the sunlight came out and it was actually like pretty nice weather. It's kind of hard. There's lots of hills up and down, but I did it. I feel like I'm getting slightly better at like riding a bike and not dying every single time, which is a nice change for me. It's not usual that I like can ride a bike and not die. Hey, Live Panic, thank you for joining. And Monica's here. Hi, Monica. So I'm excited for this video today because I really like doing Beach Boss influencer videos. They are a group of 5 women who are like MLM coaches who coach network marketers, and they have a podcast, and it's a fun podcast for me to listen to. I really enjoy it, and I think this one is a really good like thing that we could react to. It's definitely reaction worthy. I'm sorry, my computer, like the second I go live, of course, it's like not functioning. Okay, there it is. It's functioning. It's functioning. Okay, that's good. Hi, Heather. I'm just dropping by to leave a like and a chat. I'm watching Clowntown right now, but I'll be back if they take a break. Awesome. Have fun watching Clowntown. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. And yeah, come check the replay. Like, there's 2 really fun streams going on right now. So, like, go watch those if you want and like catch me on the replay later. Like, that's no problem. Let's share my screen now that my computer is functioning again. Let's see. There you go. And I'll put this on. There you go. That's better. What do you do when you suck at being a hun? Go coach. Yeah, and the first Beach Boss influencer video we did, they told us how they went into significant debt in MLM. And then I think it was Lift Panic who said, "Wait, why would we take coaching from them if they went into debt in their MLM?" And it's like, that's a good point. If they were so bad in the industry, why are we taking advice from them? Hi, Elaine. Thank you for being here. Elaine, I don't remember if it was you who was excited for the Amway tool scam story video or not. It might have been someone else, but I checked right before the stream and it looks like the anti-MLM subreddit is no longer private. And so I think I want to do that video tomorrow, the Amway tool scam video tomorrow. And so, yeah, if you want to listen to some Amway tool scam stories, then tune in tomorrow. How to scam more successfully, become a coach. Bingo. Yes. Okay, I'm really excited. This is their podcast called Unleash Your Inner Badass episode, and it's episode 10. I am ready. Let's go. Oh, let's go to the beginning.
Hey, we are live, and I've got a question for you. What do you do when life happens? I have a little story to tell you. So yesterday afternoon, as I'm about to get on a meeting with the Beaches, I get a phone call from Dad to say, hurry, you need to come over. Mum's hurt herself. So Wayne puts his whiskey down. We jump in the car. We drive over. Supper's in the kitchen, and she's dislocated her shoulder. So, okay, come, we need to get you off to hospital. Wayne says, I can do this. I know how to put it back, but it's going to hurt like buggery. So I thought, okay, well, let's not do that to Mum because she'll probably never speak to you again. So let's get you to the hospital. And we go to a local clinic, but the radiologist had gone for the day, so they couldn't take an X-ray. So they said, we can't do anything. They put her in a sling and drive to the main hospital. And we got home at 5 this morning. Okay, we were there the whole night.
That sounds awful, and it sounds really stressful because she looks like she's in her 50s maybe, and so her mother could be in her 70s or her 80s potentially, right? And someone who is older, a senior, them dislocating their shoulder, like, that could seriously hurt the rest of their body, like, a senior falling like that could really hurt themselves, and also it's a little bit like, it could be dangerous for a senior to be in the hospital because there's so many viruses going around, and if a senior has like a lower immune system, they may get sick going to the hospital. And so not only was she up until 5 a.m., but there's also the mental toll that helping your like sick, your injured parent and staying up with them all night when they're in pain at the hospital takes on you, right? And I feel like your elderly parent hurting themselves seriously hurting themselves is worse than shit happening because that could have had really catastrophic can't say that word. You know what I mean? That could have been really, really dangerous, and it's more than, like, shit happening. Yeah, the irony is astounding. Yeah, I hope you can come tomorrow, Elaine. It'll be cool. I think it's pretty educational. Trust me, I can unleash my inner badass without being in an MLM. Exactly. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for being here. What specific MLM are they in? They are currently not in an MLM from based on my understanding, but they just like there's 5 of them, I think. There's 5 of them and they just have their own coaching program. Several months ago on this channel, I had did a video where I just went through their website and it was really interesting. That was a good video. I got my orange smash drink ready. Woo! Nice. Awesome. Let's keep going.
So what do you do when life happens? You grow some balls. Okay. I'm going to tell you like this. Okay. Because I could have actually said to these beaches, I've had no sleep. I'm absolutely knackered.
Monica, they were in an MLM previously. Sorry, I thought you were asking if they were like currently in an MLM. They were in one previously. I don't know which one it was, but they're not in it now. They're just focusing on the coaching.
You can see my face. I'm knackered. But you get on, life carries on. And as you grow your businesses, as things grow, shit's going to happen. I'm going to tell you this right now. Shit's going to happen. Things are going to happen. And you just figure out a way and you get on with it. Okay.
If you were in any employment environment where the boss cared about you even just a little bit, if you were up till 5 a.m. taking care of an injured elderly parent, I think any reasonable boss would say, take the day off or even like take the morning off, sleep in, relax, hang out with your mom, and then like get to work when you can. I really like this is not the case in an average employment environment, and the fact that in MLM, we have to just, like, put on our big girl panties, grow some balls, like she said, when our parent is seriously injured, just speaks volumes for the industry that we're in, and this should be a red flag to me. I remember a long time ago, I follow a couple Beachbody coaches just on Facebook for fun, and they were talking about how one of their coaches continued to work the business and hit several milestones when their father passed away. And he was a young guy who was working his business during this time. He was probably like in his 30s. His father passed away, and he was being praised for continuing to push in his business and also like leaning into the Beachbody community. If you're if a family member dies, if someone gets hurt, if something scary happens, you should be able to take a second and recover, not just physically, but mentally. That isn't really important to the story. Yeah, shit happens. True, true. It is, but it does. But in my opinion, I feel like shit happening is like you miss the bus and you're stuck outside in a torrential downpour for half an hour, or you run over a nail on the street and your tire pops, right? Like in my brain, shit happening is not like sickness or injury. And just because Fran is able to grow some balls and continue working after not sleeping at all doesn't mean that everyone can, and doesn't mean that anyone should if they don't have the capacity to do so. Oh, They're either telling you how much time freedom you have or telling you to carry on no matter what. I'm confused. Brilliant point, Charlie. I love that point. So good. I thought the idea of MLM was time freedom. With what time freedom you have with that time freedom, you have time to take care of emergencies. What is the point of time freedom then? Yeah. Yeah. And like when I got my thyroid removed in January of 2020, my husband, boyfriend at the time, he like took the day off work to take me to the hospital and he like sat there with me all day and he wasn't told he has to go to work. No, of course, like a loved one is in surgery, you like stay with your loved one if you can. I know not everyone has that privilege, not everyone has that ability to stay with a loved one during a health care emergency. But if you can, if you have the ability to take a little bit of time off work, you should. When my father had cancer, I had no problem taking time off from my job. I had PTO. Yes. Yes. After I got my thyroid removed, I took 2 weeks to lay on my couch and I did nothing and I got paid for it. But if I was in an MLM, I probably would have been told to continue working and probably pressured to phrase it as I am so grateful that I can continue to make money while sitting on my couch recovering from a pretty significant surgery. I'm feeling hot as usual. Why am I always hot in here?
Okay? Because otherwise you could curl up in a corner and cry and feel sorry for yourself. And what's going to happen? Everybody else's businesses are going to grow. Sorry, I'm ranting right now. But I know so many people who curl up in a corner and cry because they feel sorry for themselves and because life has happened and shit's happened and shit's going to happen in your business and things are going to happen in your business. And either you figure it out and figure out how can I make this work? How can I figure out a way to build my business? How can I? Or you crumble up and cry and your business, everybody else's business is going to grow and you will end up staying exactly where you are. So
Don't you think that some people may react to stressful situations differently because of some like mental health challenges? Maybe they need therapy and they don't have access to it. Maybe they are actively working with a therapist to improve their emotional reactions to stressful situations. Maybe they had childhood trauma, maybe they had recent trauma. And I really don't like the dismissing of people's really valid emotions. Like if something happens that feels big to you, you're not you're not in victim mindset if you feel sorry for yourself for a little bit. Like I think it's good to validate your own emotions and be like, "Yeah, this sucks. This is horrible. I'm gonna feel my emotions for a little bit, and then I'm gonna try my best to get back to daily life." Just because we don't react to things in the exact same way you do, Fran, does not mean that our emotions and our reactions aren't valid. Oh, we already saw that one from Elaine. Even in the military, if we have emergencies, they'll grant us emergency leave. They will give us time off. Exactly. Sometimes the service member will even be flown home from overseas deployment. Hello, stupid MLM. Yeah, so you could have men and women on the front lines in extremely dangerous situations. Their lives are at stake. The lives of other people are at stake, and military members on the front lines can even go home in the case of emergencies. So why can't military members go home? Why can military members go home, but MLM distributors can't?
there's my little lecture for today. Okay. That's
It's a
about
good
all my brain
start. It's a
is
good
able.
fire to the fuel, right?
I know, but
Fuel to the
seriously,
fire. Why am I
like
always
it's gonna happen.
right?
And here's the thing, and I know Kat was talking about this on one of our coaching calls the other day. The bigger your businesses grow, the more successful you are, the bigger your problems are going to be. Okay.
Yeah. And this is preparation
Yeah.
phase for you right now. And if you don't learn how to deal with your problems now, you're probably not going to be able to deal with them later because they're just going to get bigger and more important, more significant. Because I want to give you a spoiler alert.
We I had a thought in my head and it's gone, but I hate the idea of, like, we need to push past really, like, traumatic and significant events in our life just because we need to prove ourselves in our MLM, prove that our business is worthy of our attention, prove that we are real business owners, and they really glorify like, hustle culture, really toxic hustle culture instead of, like, take a second, take care of your mental health, take things slow, lay on the couch for a day or 2 if you need to, and just, like, be. Just be. Why can't they just glorify taking care of your mental well-being? That's what's important. Like, in an MLM, you are extremely replaceable, and you should not be, like, sacrificing your mental well-being for your upline, okay? I had a really good point in my head, and it just left me. Hi, DC. It's so great to see you here. Thank you for joining. Young kids selling coaching or something. Yes. I just see what the story has to do with unleashing your inner badass. I think they're just killing time. I really don't think that they plan these out. Like, I don't plan my videos either, obviously, because I had a thought and then it left me. But, like, they are making a living in this business, and I think if this is your living, your livelihood, I think that you should probably take some time to at least have, like, a general outline for what you wanna say. I do plan some of my videos. Some of them that are more technical, like, I'll take notes and stuff, and with the Amway ranking one, I did study for hours on that, but, like, 99% of them, I just listen to it, like, a bunch of times while I'm working, and that's my preparation. I noticed the record. Do you know what it means? Oh, back here? Ooh, I don't know. Heather's face is priceless right now listening to these Beach Blast influencers. True. I don't know. That's a really good point. That's a great question. Great question. I don't know. I wish we could zoom in and see. Maybe it's some like 2 comma club award thing with some like business influencer, business coach person. They don't look very badass in the Zoom screens right now, right? Oh, thank you, DC. That's so nice. I just wanted to preface it like I'm telling them that they should plan while I don't plan, but I think like we're at different levels. This is a little hobby. This is their livelihood. So I think if it's your livelihood, you should like put some planning into it and like write a script and have the script on the screen. And like Fran says this line, and then Kat says these 3 paragraphs, and then there's a flow. If this is a training, they should get on with it out of respect of people's time. Kat's going to go into another story that is very similar. So let's keep going.
The reason, usually when we commit to something huge, maybe it's you want to lose 40 pounds, right? Maybe you want to make $10,000 in your business, right? You commit to something huge and it's going to require a lot of work, consistency, and effort. And life going to throw you a curveball on purpose.
Yep.
Like that's the law. When you commit to something, when you declare something, it's going to test you. So
if you are out and about and say a bus runs you over in the crosswalk and you're in the hospital, is that because life declared it? Is that because that's just the law and that you committed to something, so that's why the bus hit you? Because what they're saying, it has some grain of truth where you're like, shit happens, bad things sometimes just happen, sure, but there's no like universal law dictating why the bus hit you and why you ended up in the hospital. Could be the bus driver wasn't paying attention. It could be they sneezed. Like, I don't like the idea of like traumatic things happening because of like you pushing for a significant goal. It's kind of saying like it's our fault that something bad happened to us. What do you think? Which button am I pressing?
all those curveballs are going to be happening like, I don't know. It's like
at rapid speed.
yes, it's like what in the world is happening? And naturally, it's natural to ourselves to step back and said, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing that.
This is a sign we shouldn't
This
be
is a
doing
sign
this.
I made the wrong decision, right?
Yeah.
My washer broke down. I should not spend the money. It happens all the time, but it's not what it's all about.
Ma'am, like, you need your washer. I think my husband and I could survive without a washer because it's just us. But like, if we had kids, like, you need your washer. And if you don't have the money to join your pyramid scheme and take care of your washer, you shouldn't be joining the pyramid scheme. You need to wash your clothes. That's not an excuse. It's a reason. It's a reason. Even as coaches, they can't give a proper training. Their hun mode is so ingrained. Great point, Monica. At least their voice level is not obnoxious as JLW. Thank goodness I have my limit when it comes to that obnoxious woman. Fair, fair, Monica, fair.
Right? Life gonna be testing you all the time to make sure you've got what it takes, because only the strongest, the most committed, the most stubborn, the most
Is that like feedback me? Is it because I'm like touching my wires here? Is that me? Is that coming from my end? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if my audio is trash right now. I can't tell if it's my trash audio or theirs.
whatever are gonna make it to the end, right? If we all just woke up and did few things and became successful, then the next day, that would be no fun. There would
And
be
yeah.
then it
And your
wouldn't be
brain,
success. It would be a normal thing to do, right?
and your
So
brain, sorry, carry on, Kat. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because your brain and your comfort zone, okay, is trying to keep you comfortable. And when shit happens and when life throws you a curveball, then your brain is going to go, oh, yes, 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 yes. That, yeah, I told you so. This wasn't meant to happen. Let's go back into my comfort zone. Let's just stay nice and comfortable here where it is, where like nothing's working, where I don't have enough money, where, we don't have enough money.
Miserable.
We're
Just stay in the
miserable.
misery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And instead of testing that and growing and stretching that comfort zone and thinking, yeah, throw these curveballs at me, life. Come on, keep throwing it at me. Because
But we should also know our emotional limits, right? Like if something happens to us, big or small, our dishwasher breaks or like our child gets really sick and is in the hospital, and if we are able to acknowledge that like, hey, this is too much for me right now. I'm not taking care of my mental health. I need to take a step back and just focus on me. I think like we should be holding that up higher. Like that should be thought of as more positive, that we're like understanding our boundary and then we're maintaining it and we're like trying to take care of our mental well-being. But of course, in like the MLM context, they hate when people establish a boundary and then maintain said boundary. They just expect you to see everything as a learning opportunity, see everything as a positive, when sometimes, like, if your child is sick in the hospital for months, like, that's not a positive. That is just a really, really scary, terrible thing to happen. And there is not always a learning opportunity, right? And I think I've said this in someone's comments somewhere that I can see the idea of like seeing a lesson out of a bad situation. Like your child is in the hospital, and so you focus more on like having quality time with your other children because you're stressed out about your other child's health, right? Like that's a lesson, but there's no positive with your child being sick. I don't know. That was a bit of a ramble. I need my wash. Oh, yes. Yes, I already saw that one. My sister's dishwasher broke and she wasted no time getting a new one, but she got a really good deal at Best Buy. She has a family, so she needs it. Yes, exactly. Rather use the money on the washer than waste it on an MLM. Great point. Great point. So much toxic positivity. It's okay to feel, process the info, and try to resolve the situation. Yeah. And everyone processes the info differently, too. We all have different mental capacities and different life experiences that impact how we react to stressful situations. Exactly.
because I'm stronger than that, and I'm going to keep growing, and I'm going to keep. I'm on my journey. Nothing's going to stop me. And you've got to have that mindset, and you've got to be aware, like Kat was saying, that I'm going to keep saying it. Shit's gonna
That
happen. Yeah.
there's something coming to blow up my day and
My
my
plan.
life right now. I am aware that this is happening to hold me back, and I'm not going to let it.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to push through. and get out of the storm.
Are we not letting it hold us back for like the sake of our family, our spouse, our kids, if we have kids? Like, I'm experiencing a really bad mental health issue right now. I'm going to therapy. I'm not going to just wallow in it. I'm going to focus on being there for my kids and my spouse in the best way I can. Because if that's the case, that's great. That's wonderful. But they want you to push through to stay in their coaching for longer, to stay in your MLM, which is most likely at least a part of the cause of your mental health struggle in the first place. So what she's saying is great if it's just focusing on your loved ones during a time of turmoil, but no, it's focusing on your MLM business where you're losing money and you're being mistreated. There's a big difference there. Okay. Monica said, not everything happens for a reason. Sometimes things just happen just because. Yes, and what they said, shit happens, is true. Like, you don't know why things happen in your life. I don't know why my thyroid just ballooned out of nowhere and I had to get the whole ass organ removed. There was no reason for that. But they're trying to say shit happens for the purpose of keeping us in the system longer and for invalidating our feelings, for telling us that we are crying and feeling emotional because we just need to grow some balls and we just need to pull our big girl panties up. They didn't say this yet, but Brandy's going to tell us later. Okay, is this the actual training? Yes, it is. That's what I've been wondering. Heather, I just want to say I really appreciate how calming your streams are. I love your tonality, how intelligent your comments are. We can talk about complex things without yelling. I feel like I might have just been yelling a tiny bit there because I'm really passionate about like people have the ability to feel their emotions in whatever way they need to. And I think it's so unhealthy to hold them in or to like police your emotions and how you portray them. So I really appreciate that comment. That's really nice. And sorry to the chat if I wasn't being super calming at that moment. Thank you, DC. And DC, I think you would do a really good job reacting to these episodes. Unleash Your Inner Badass. There's a bunch of them, and I think it would be cool to hear your perspective. I hate when I hear the storm. Exactly. At the root of everything, MLM is a sales job, nothing more, nothing less, but they paint it like the out-of-body job that nothing else compares to. Exactly. Your passion still comes through. No, your passion is great. Thank you. I try my best not to yell. Even when I'm actually really frustrated, I try my best to stay as calm as I can. But then, like, the things that, like, get me worked up, I'm like, why am I worked up about this? It's actually not that bad in the context of MLM world, you know? But thank you. I really appreciate that. It's going to drive me nuts that I can't remember about the coaching or whatever. What do you mean, Elaine? Let me know. Remy, what does Remy mean? They painted it like MLM is superior to every single career or job in this planet or universe, and their products are the cure that we all must consume. I've heard Beachbody coaches say that Shakeology can reverse hypothyroidism. And then I was snarky in the comments and I said, oh, okay, can Shakeology grow me a thyroid? And I know that's not what they meant. They didn't mean Shakeology grows organs, but I was pissed off and I left them a snarky comment. This was like 2 years ago.
I look at those things and I'm like, okay, thank you. I got the message. Thank you for the experience. I got the message. I have to learn something from here and I have to grow. That's why it happened to me, right? Not because life want to slap me in the face because I'm not good enough, not worthy. No. It's because I need to learn something, or I need to be stronger, or I need to improve my skills, whatever that is, right? It's not literally to slow us down or just because we're not good for this game. It's because we need to learn and grow. That's why it's happening to us.
I'm going to say this again and again. I think my thyroid is a really good example. Like, did my thyroid balloon in size and become covered in lumps that looked like it was cancer because I needed to learn something, because I needed to improve my skills, because I needed to grow? No. it was a weird freak health incident that was really stressful, and it made it really hard for me to just, like, function day to day until we finally realized that, "No, it's benign, it's all fine." But I just that's not even as, like that's not even a really severe health emergency too, because, like, everything was fine, there was no issue. It just took, like, a month and a half to figure it out, but then if you tell someone like, "Oh, your, like, cancer in your liver is happening for some deeper reason, and you need to take this as a learning experience," it's like, "No, I don't. I don't need to learn something from my horrendous disease that I'm going through. You're just a salesperson, that's it. Get over your high horse, lady." Yes, Monica, yes.
And another spoiler alert. Majority of people, when the life slapped them in the face for the first time, they will quit because this is the most comfortable thing to do. And I
Excuse me, lady, no, because maybe they're going through, like, a mental health issue, and it's too much for them, and they're listening to their brain, they're listening to the body, and they are, like, establishing a boundary and determining what's important for themselves and their families.
sad to see a lot of people invest in themselves and they have that hope and belief, oh my God, I'm going to finally make it happen. And as soon as the first roadblock comes along, usually the next day, they're starting that excuse. I don't even know what to call it. Oh, my health is not that good right now. Maybe I should have done it later. Or summer is about to start. The kid's going to be at home. I'm not going to have time. Oh, what my dishwasher broke down, I need to repair it, I need the money. Life gonna be happening all the
It
time.
doesn't stop.
There's
Yeah.
no the right time in the future to start anything. The only time is right now. So life
I get so mad when people invalidate others' emotions, others' experiences, because her saying, like, this whole thing is, in my opinion, insinuating that what you're going through is not that big of a deal. You just gotta pull up your big girl panties and keep going in your MLM. When chances are the people in this coaching course, they're not making any money. They're going into debt. They're losing time with their significant other and their friends and their kids. And time with your significant other when you're going through something traumatic or stressful is what lots of people need, right? Or some people will need relaxation to try to recover. And they're just I really don't like it. I don't like the assumption that everyone is exactly the same too, and that everyone has the same mental capacities to deal with things. I feel like I'm gonna say the same thing over and over.
will be happening all the time, and majority of people will give up. But those who say, okay, I see what's happening here. Life slapping me in the face for a reason, and I'm going to face it, and I'm going to get over it, and I'm going to keep going. The more times you do that, right? The more times you get slapped in the face, but you get up and keep going, what happens is not only your mental capacity increases to deal with stuff like this, your physical capacity increases to deal with stuff like this, and your emotional capacity. So what you're able to do to handle more life. Like people always ask us, how do you guys do it all? We have kids, we used to have jobs, businesses, house, everything in between. Like, are you superhumans?
Elaine, Beyond Six Figures with Justin, it was your video. So what was your last thing? It's gonna drive me nuts. I can't remind me about the coaching or whatever. I don't know what you mean still. Is that what I like, did I say that in the video? In the video with Justin Beyond Six Figures? I'm sorry, my brain is mush right now. I'm sorry. It's not a roadblock, lady. It's the MLM structure that fails them. Brilliant. You don't fail if you quit an MLM. The MLM failed you, and you're actually doing what's best for yourself, for your spouse, your significant other, your friends, your family, everyone. You're doing what's best if you leave the MLM business structure. Love that. I hate they expect people to stay while making no money. What the fuck? No, that's not how this works. And Brandy down here is going to say that about 18 times.
No, we just dealt with stuff like this so many times and kept going that it becomes like second nature. It's a similar story I have from yesterday. So it was my turn to coach. our academy students and 7-figure students literally 5 minutes before I have to go for like 2.5 hours. My husband calls me and he tells me he forgot his inhaler at home and he's having asthma attack.
And it's not a small attack.
And he is 40 minutes drive away. And he's like, can you bring it to me? So I'm like, my initial reaction, I have to go. Like, he's like gonna die. And then I'm like, at the same time, okay, think, because I can't go right now. I can't throw Carrie under the bus or keep asking someone to cover me. I'm like, okay. So I came up with 3 decisions.
Elaine, I understand. Was that in it? Was that in Beyond Six Figures? Was it? Brilliant. You mean the record? Oh my God. So cool. Cool. I did not notice that. Maybe they did Beyond Six Figures training. That's crazy. Wow. Adrienne seems preoccupied with her hair. I get that though. Like, I am really awkward staring at a camera, and I think it's like a comforting thing to like fiddle with my ponytail. I get that, but again, it's not my livelihood, so it's okay if I'm awkward and weird on camera. So, how would you react to this? You're about to do an important work meeting. Your spouse, significant other calls you up and says, "Hey, I'm having an asthma attack. I need my inhaler." I would drop everything and go. Text my boss and say, "Hey, I was about to give this presentation, but I have a family emergency. I don't know when I'm going to be back." Period. But let's hear what she has to say.
In a matter of 40 seconds. I told him, call your doctor and see if they can call in your inhaler into the pharmacy that's a minute away from your work. Then I said, go to your pharmacy that's 1 minute away from your work and see if they have over-the-counter inhalers. I saw in Walmart over-the-counter inhalers now. I said, go there and see if they have one. And I said, if none of this works, I'm sending Camellia to you. I actually was going to send her anyways, because she's at home and she can drive inhaler. So I said, you do these 2 things and I'm going to do this thing. So everything went into motion and I'm live on the call and my brain is like going
Somewhere
back
else.
and forth. And then 5 minutes later, he texts me, I found the spare one in my bag. And I was like, cancel everything. Text and cancel. Don't go anywhere. So
The plan is off.
it's like, for some people, it could have been like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And we start like frantically just, I don't know, crying or going back and forth. And eventually,
In this situation, I would just like tell my coworkers and leave. Like, if my spouse was having some kind of medical emergency, I would say, okay, get an Uber to the hospital, go to the emergency room. I will be there in 10 minutes, you know? Like, I would drop everything immediately because in my brain, unless you're like a police officer or like a surgeon and someone's life literally depends on you doing your job, then you go and you take care of your spouse, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, but let me know what you think. Like, do you like, would you react in the same way? I would have said, put yourself in a cab, get yourself to the hospital. I will be there in 10, period. And then I would go. So Monica, she said sending Camilla to you, but she said the name a little bit strangely. Maybe Camilla's like their assistant or their daughter or something, but just like someone who is at home. She's going to send the inhaler with Camilla. Okay. Why did you become a coach? Really? Did you tell yourself, I can make more money being a coach than a hun? Light bulb, mind blown. Yes, Monica. You know exactly what you are doing. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost. What is she talking about? Okay, so her husband was at work, had an asthma attack, didn't have his inhaler. She was 40 minutes away. Kat was about to go into a meeting that she had to coach. And her husband's like, can you bring it to me? She said, no, I can't because I'm about to go into a meeting. So do these things instead. And I was just saying, I think we should drop everything. If our job does not keep others alive, of course, drop everything and go take care of her spouse. I hope that makes sense. You agree with me. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, and if I'm like being too intense, like that's totally fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions, right? But okay. So yeah, let's see. Elaine said over-the-counter inhalers are different than prescription. Hmm. Yeah, I think like he should go to the hospital. You should go to the hospital, get immediate medical attention. Holy shit. Let's keep going.
Well, we don't even do anything. We're just think about the worst case scenarios and get paralyzed. But when you get used to, it's not even multitasking. It's I don't know.
Handling.
It's
think
multi-thinking. So, and that's because I can handle a lot of life, you know. And at the same time, the dog probably was biting my feet or chewing on something, and it all, you know. But you're able to handle a lot of these kind of things, and it becomes normal. And the more we can handle, the more we can handle.
I worry that if someone like realizes that they have like panic attacks or they may be experiencing a lot of anxiety and they're like considering seeking out mental health professionals help, but instead they hear this and it's like Kat's telling us just keep going when shit happens and pretty much condition your brain to react in a certain way when you're under stress or anxiety and and that would be fine. Once you just condition your brain to react to stress in a certain way, then you'll be fine and you'll just keep going and you'll get easier. It'll get easier in the future. It's like, no, some people have involuntary bodily reactions to stress and anxiety, and they need to, if they have access to it, I know not everyone does, they need to seek help from a mental health professional to identify triggers and identify coping mechanisms. She could have explained to her MLM coworkers that she needed to bring him the inhaler. Why are you making this such a fuss about her MLM instead of attending to his medical needs? Exactly. She prioritizes her meeting versus him and his medical needs. I'm speechless. Same. Monica, same.
I think the number one thing too to remember that a lot of people look for that easy button. I want the easy button, right? Well, success doesn't come to the
There's no
easy
easy
button,
button.
people. It just doesn't. It's not how it works. There's a law of reciprocity and you have to pay the price. Whatever that price is for you, it has to be paid. It can't be push the button and I'm successful. So whenever you see people and you're like, wow, they were handed everything, or
They're
they
lucky.
somehow they got lucky, or whatever. It's total BS. It's total BS. Like people have worked for it. I've never seen anybody successful that was just handed to you. It's not how it works, right?
So our spouse having a medical emergency, we have to push through that so we can be successful because no one who is successful in MLM has ever had it easy. So emotional turmoil, stressful situations, anxiety inducing situations is just because we're successful. So we need to keep welcoming that stress into our lives so we can be successful. And if we don't want any stress, then we are just pushing the easy button. And it's not how that works. So you notice how many times Brandy has said, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Why are you prioritizing their business over family emergencies? Make it make sense. Yeah, before I like lived with my spouse, he was on the phone with me worrying that like he had something in his eye and it just like he could not get it out. And it was late at night and I was like getting ready to like get in an Uber to go to his house and bring him to the hospital. And like that wasn't a medical emergency, but it could have been bad if he couldn't get it out of his eye, right? Like loved ones are having emergencies or health scares, you deal with it. You drop everything and you deal with it. Successful at the expense of your downline. Yes. Great, great points, Monica. You're on fire tonight. My brain is still trying to compute that. The fuck. My brain does not compute. F me. I love your commentary, Monica.
That's that mental capacity that And if you're in that place, and to be like, oh, well, I just invested in mentorship and so I should be successful tomorrow. Pull your head out of your butt. It's not how it works. Like, it's not a microwave. You don't put your business in the microwave for 3 minutes and pull it out and it's a $10 million business, right? Like, if you look at all of our journeys, mine started 8 years ago? Like, that's my success story. That's my overnight success of 8 freaking years. Like,
If people are like, "Hey, why aren't I successful after a month of your mentorship?" Maybe it's not because they just want the easy button and their heads in their ass. Maybe it's an issue with how you're representing your coaching opportunity, and maybe you need to not make exorbitant claims of financial success, and all they have to do is just join your coaching business. Maybe it's a you problem, it's not an us problem, because where did we get the idea that we should find success quickly with your mentorship? Oh, because you told us that you had the one answer that will help us meet all of our financial dreams. It's your fault. It's not our fault.
of hardship and going through the things and all the things, but you've got to grow that mental capacity
All of the things. That is the biggest MLM buzzword. All of the things, all of them.
to be able to deal with it. And we'll be totally honest with you. If you're not willing to keep going, then you're not going to have success.
Yeah.
It's you that controls it. Like, it might be 8 years from now when you're successful. It might be a year from now. It might be 20 years from now. There's no way to know, right? Because everybody's in a different place. But if you quit, then you're a quitter. It wasn't anybody else's fault but your own. That's
Then you'll have to start up.
You don't know when you're going to find financial success. Could be 20 years from now. So you can never quit, because if you quit, you fail and it's all your fault. So I just have to keep working away in your downline, losing money for 10 years on the off chance that I may make some money later down the road. In an average employment environment, you are not working with the hope that you may make money some point down the line. You are getting a regular paycheck, a salary, or an hourly wage that you can actually depend on.
Ever.
Yeah.
And
And like Brandy said, you may sit here and go like, oh, it was so easy for you guys. Like, oh, look at, you just did this. If we were to write down a list of all the crap that has happened to us in our personal lives, individually, as a company, y'all's job, we'd be rolling your job off the floor. Okay.
Most
And
people will say,
Trauma Olympics. Your reaction is not valid. Your desire to step back from your business is not valid, because I've been through more, I've been through worse, and I continue to meet my milestones. I continue to push, therefore, you are not valid. This audio is horrendous. I don't think DC would still be here, but DC, what do you think of this audio? I would love to hear your opinion, DC, and I would love it if DC would react to some of their podcast episodes. I think that would be a brilliant, brilliant stream. There's no logic. MLM goes against all reason and logic. Exactly. And people still join MLMs, and that's the part that saddens me and frustrates me the most. Yes. Same.
not for me.
Not
I'm
for
back
me.
to my- I'm back to my
and
9
I'm
to 5.
talking like the life stuff.
Right, DC? Right, DC? So, I only see one microphone here with Brandy. I don't see a microphone with Kat, although, you can't see mine, but it is here. I don't know if any of the others have microphones. I shouldn't be talking about lighting because half my face is lit up, the other half isn't. I don't know how to do it, but none of them, Kat has decent lighting, I think. I think Fran has okay lighting, but the rest of them don't have proper lighting as well. Just feel like it's your job. Have a more professional setup, you know? And DC, I'm really glad you're still here. Hi. I guess that's the power of cults. Yes. Okay, so in a little bit, I don't remember exactly when it is, Brandy says something really shocking. She talks about unaliving, and the video is 5 minutes. like it's only 5 minutes left, so it's gonna happen soon. So if you don't want to hear a very quick reference of unaliving, then you can just go check out the Clown Town or Always Marco. They're both streaming right now. And you can watch me on the replay.
Okay, like the good, all of the bad, you know, lots of things. Okay, but what we did is we still continue to show up in our business regardless, because we have exercised that process that Kat had talked about, and we are aware that it's a rough time, and so that part is easier, right, to make yourself continue to take action. But you're still going through a very hard time in your life emotionally and all these things. That doesn't mean it's not as hard. We're just equipped and more prepared to handle those things because we're aware that they're always going to happen. And as you climb, right, as you climb the ladder and you become more and more successful, they're still going to happen. It doesn't go away.
Hey, Latoya. I clicked your, hi, Latoya. Thank you for being here. I was waving at you. Hi. I appreciate you coming. So they're more equipped to handle serious situations, and it's great if you're more equipped to handle it, but you're not going to have a higher mental capacity to deal with stress by joining the Beach Boss influencers. You'll be able to figure that out through mental health therapy if you can afford it. And if you don't have access to it, speaking to a trusted loved one who's not going to judge you and who just truly wants what's best for you. I would categorize this as a pep talk, not training. Yeah, like what are we learning? We're learning that we must show up in our business regardless. Period. Doesn't matter what we're going through. Doesn't matter if our elderly parent is injured. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if our spouse is having a health emergency. We have to show up. This brainwashing is so profound that people don't see it, I guess. Also, when you block friends and family because they might disagree with you with your MLM is even more sad. That happens more than we realize. Yeah, it is very sad. I had a point. What was my point? If you are a business owner, a small business owner, and some challenge happens, like if it's just like a one person operation, like you may not make money, right? But if you have any level, if you have any kind of employee base, then you can take a few days off to deal with a family emergency and still have your business run.
Right? So if you're sitting here thinking like, okay, well, you know, this is just going to happen and then woo, I'm good to go. No, prepare, because it's going to continue to happen each rung that you climb in your business success. Okay, you make it to this level, you just ranked up, how exciting, you're on top of the world. Okay, well, life's going to drop a bomb in your lap, right? Great, I've done this, I got past it, I'm going to work my way up. Another thing. Okay, so it's not that it doesn't happen to us or other gurus that you follow or other people you see on stage. It does. We just have learned how to handle it and continue to get back up no matter what. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? We wouldn't be able to help, you know, serve so many of you guys following us, other people, other entrepreneurs, network marketers, right? And it just is part of the course. I mean, there's no way around it. It's going to happen because it's life and you can't control it, but you can control how you react to it. You can control whether you're going to lay down and wallow and roll around in it and feel sorry and have a pity party for yourself.
And blame everyone around.
And blame and make excuses and all the things. And
you're not blaming and making excuses if you are feeling stressed about your situation, though. And like, let's think about the root of this pep talk. Like, they're not saying this stuff to us because they're not saying this stuff to us just because like they want what's best for us. Like, they're saying this to us because they want us to stay in the MLM for longer. Like, they don't actually care about our well-being. They don't care about our families and about like our relationships. They care about money. They care about us staying in their company for as long as possible. And I really don't like that. Like, that makes me feel weird, and they're telling us to ignore our emotions, ignore our feelings, so, like, they can continue to make money off of us. So, I realized a little while ago that DC is close to 3,000 subscribers, and so I didn't do a good job. If you're in the chat, you can probably click on that link. I don't know how to link. You probably already watch DC if you watch me. So, like, you probably already subscribed, but she's so close to 3K. And so you all should go subscribe to DC right now. Right now, if you aren't already. There's no mention of what exactly the seller offer, what are their prices. I did a whole video on that, like the first Beach Boss influencers thing video I did, the stream. You can go check that out if you want to, or let me just see Beach Boss influencers, Beach Boss, and I can just put the link in the chat for you, Monica, and you can go look at it and you can see the prices. I'm just getting it up for you. Is this it? Man, this is not it. You could Google Beach Boss influencers. I'm sorry. You're so sweet. Thank you, DC. You are too nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a really nice thing for you to say. Yeah, DC's so close, and all her content is awesome. She's been killing it lately. She always kills it, but recently it's been even better than usual somehow. Here on planet Earth, when one has a problem, your job accommodates you. Exactly. If they're coaches, what are their courses, prices, membership? Are they trying to sell their course in the Zoom because they're not doing the job? Right? Right? Yeah, so there's DC. Just say hello to DC. You can go subscribe. I'll just leave it up there for a little bit. Yeah, sorry, Monica. I was trying to find you the site, but then some weird like join this course thing came up and it wasn't their actual website, but you could probably just Google Beach Boss influencers and then you could see their website. We're almost done.
You can control pulling yourself back up and getting back out there time and time and time again.
I think it just takes grit and consistency. Honestly,
You can control how you react to things to some extent. Some people can't. If you're going into a panic attack, sometimes you can take yourself out of it if you're aware of your symptoms or your triggers and the physical reaction you have, and you are like, oh, that's a symptom of a panic attack. I need to do some of my coping mechanisms. Sometimes you can pull yourself out, but sometimes you can't. Some people can't control their emotions. Some people can't, and that's okay. And that's what mental health therapy is for. And if you can't afford that, that's what talking to a trusted loved one is for. I love DC's collabs with Danielle. Keep them coming. Yes, I agree. Love them together. They're so great. DC even doing some killer videos. Yay, Charlie agrees. Yay. Hello. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Yes, they are very privileged. They are. So I noticed a couple new people popped on in the last few minutes. Brandy is going to make mention of unaliving in like less than 3 minutes because we don't have much time left in the video. So if you don't want to hear that, you can X out now.
honestly. And when like grit, I mean like pull up your big girl panties or big boy panties and get back up and go. Like it just, it's just how it is. I mean, we could name off thousands of things that happened. The year I made $1 million in commissions. My
It's about to happen. If you don't want to hear unaliving, you can bounce now. I'll give you a second. You can bounce if you don't want to hear it.
grandfather passed away. My niece committed suicide, right? Like in a matter of weeks of hitting that goal, right? I wasn't even close to hitting that goal and all of that stuff happened, right? Like, so life is going to.
So when your niece unfortunately unalived herself, when your grandfather passed away, did you process all those emotions? Did you talk to a loved one? Did you seek some mental health help? Because that is a horrible, horrible thing to go through. And I'm so sorry she had to do that. But in any employment environment, if you experience that, you would be able to take a second and probably take some bereavement days you would have support to take the time off that you needed to take off. And it's just so horrible that she continued to work when two extremely traumatic, sad situations happened in her life. I hate that so much. Hi, Anne Marie. You are probably starting from the beginning now, but hi. We should do another collab soon on my channel, your channel, whatever you want. We could do Mary Kay. We could do a different MLM. I would love to do another video with you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Oh, I hate that expression. Pull up your big girl panties. I hate it. They center themselves so much in those tragedies. Yes. And Emery says, yes, yes. Good. Okay. We'll plan something. We'll send one of us will send the other an email and then we'll figure something out. Yeah, they center themselves in these tragedies because that's like a depiction of grit, and they say, like they said, inconsistency. And look, I was able to work through two traumatic events in my life and I still hit this milestone. What you're going through is a fraction of what I experienced, and so you don't have any validity in wanting to take a step back. You need to just push through. Oh, and they said earlier, like, you can't slow down in your business because everyone else's business will keep going and keep growing, and you will just take a step backward, and then you have to start from the beginning. Okay, and Marie's gonna start from the beginning. Thank you. Oh my God, that's so sad. I get pissed off when they talk about these things so casually. Like, well, this happened just because my business, I was able to do XYZ. The F lady, don't use your stop sorry to sell. Don't be like, I have so much time freedom. I could work it in the nooks and crannies of my day and then yell at someone if they want to use that time freedom to spend time with their children or their family. Yes, it is horrible. God tests them so much by having people unalive themselves. Isn't it so horrible? Like, can you imagine the mental stress she went through? Like, those two things happening right after each other? And then, like, she couldn't even take a second. She had to just keep working. She had to keep pushing to that big milestone. If that happened to me, I'd just take several weeks off work. I would sit in my backyard and look at the trees, have iced coffee, just take care of myself. I wouldn't do anything else. But I know I'm also privileged. Like, I would have the ability to take a couple weeks of vacation off. I would probably have like bereavement leave that I could take. I know I'm in a privileged position and not everyone has the ability to take time off to take care of themselves. I totally get that.
It's gonna happen to all of us. It's just how it works. So get your grit out of your pocket and your consistency and go for it. So,
And life will be happening all the time. There's no breaks from that. It's never
Yeah.
going to be easier. You're never going to have more time. You're never going to have more money or whatever.
it's never gonna
Better
be
time.
less complicated or
Mhm.
less busy or none of that. It's just how life is.
Yeah. It's like putting on your armor and, walking through the crap, right? Like, put your armor on, move through it. It's not going to be like that forever. Okay. But I want to read something that I saw, and I actually think it's been.
This is why I named my stream what I named it. I know it's kind of a silly title, but I'm trying to like have better titles because for a long time I named it like literally what it was about, like some leadership advice from Eric. It's like, no, I should have better titles. And so that's why she's going to tell us why I named this stream what I named it. How inconvenient for her that her relatives are going through awful things. How time consuming. Oh, shut up. I agree. I agree. Melissa! Hey! Melissa said, what did I just stumble into? She's about to read us some kind of biblical passage and refer it to, like, connect it back to why we should not quit. Why we can never quit our MLM. I would not pay for this advice / training. Exactly. Same, Charlie, same. Exactly. That's what it sounds like. Well, the stop story happened. How inconvenient, but thanks to my MLM, I got on. Yay! Wow. The fuck is going on? Good question, Monica. Good question. Okay, let's listen.
Fitting for this. When you're gifted and anointed, Satan will personally assign someone to bring you down just so your gift and anointing won't manifest. But the enemy cannot kill what God has anointed to live. He cannot stop who God has chosen to prosper, and he cannot block what is called to manifest. So I thought that was like, wow.
That's awesome.
There you
All
go.
we can do is get you to quit. And if you quit, guess what? Guess who wins?
Yep.
If you quit, Satan wins. Your desire to quit is put in your soul by Satan. If you quit, Satan wins. So the devil is what is making you want to quit. In what world is that a normal thing? In what world is that normal? I can't believe that. Latoya says, I've followed you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. That's so nice. Think about this in any other workplace environment. If you want to quit, are they going to tell you it's Satan inside you that is making you want to quit? No. They're going to be like, oh, no, you want to move on? Like, is there anything we can do to help you stay? Oh, yeah, I want more money. Okay, we'll see if we have it in the budget. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We don't have enough money in the budget to give you a higher salary. It looks like you're going to have to move on. Okay, that's fine. And then a month later, hey, I got a new job. Oh, we're so proud of you. That's amazing. Oh, we're going to get you a card and some flowers and send you off nicely and give you a nice hug and wish you luck and try to stay in touch, right? In any workplace environment, employment environment, they're not going to be talking about Satan. They're not. I feel like maybe I was like, is this title a little bit like clickbaity, right? Because it's like Satan wins if you quit. But it's like, no, it's not clickbaity because I actually said it, right? It's just at the very end of the video. I don't know if it was clickbaity or not. Apparently, you must keep the hustle even when your niece tried to unalive herself. That this coach sob story. Welcome to the shit show, like Eva. She's brilliant. I love her channel. I've watched her for like 2.5 years now. The idea of paying for work training is always so bizarre, even if it's pretty decent training, but this is total nonsense. Yes. What in the flippity flop twisty theology are we listening to? I love when you say that. Flippity flop. Next time they'll be passing around the plate. There's not enough facepalm in the world for this. Hey, Heather, I'm late. I need to catch up. Hey, Jenny. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate seeing you in my chats. Thank you. In real business, quitting is absolutely an option. True. And then Melissa, now I believed your title because we've heard it said before. Gosh dang, MLM Huns. I wasn't sure if it was clickbaity because it was at the very end, but it's like what you said. We've heard it 1,000 times before where people will be like, quitting is not an option. If you quit, you fail. Rich DeVos said that constantly. Dexter Yeager said that constantly. We're all losers if we quit, right? And yeah, quitting is always an option. It's always an option. And some people just want to go from job to job because they want different experiences. They want to grow their resume. They want to establish themselves in their careers. And that's fine. Lots of people want to work in lots of different jobs. And that's okay. You don't even need a reason for wanting to move on. Hi, Mr. Ranger Lab. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. And it's really nice to see you here. Fortunately, we only have 48 seconds left of this video, but thank you for joining. Also, your MLM is more important than providing medical help to your spouse when he needs an inhaler. That's happened too. Losers if they quit and losers if they don't quit. Exactly. It's called cutting your losses. It's perfectly rational. Completely. And in an average work environment, you don't need a reason to want to move on. You could be like, I've been here for 2 years. I want to move on. I want to go somewhere else. It's totally fine. Sticking with something that isn't working is the real crazy. Yeah, in an average work environment, like say your boss is really mean, say you don't like the work, say you don't have any work-life balance, you realize that and you're like, hey, I want to move on now. Hey, I'm going to do something else. That is a totally rational, reasonable thing. Great point, Mr. Ranger Lab. Hi, Julie. No worries. We have 48 seconds left of the video. Thank you, Mr. Ranger Lab. That is so nice. I really appreciate that. so cool that people joined me live for this because like there's other streams going on and I never stream on Saturday night. So I was honestly being like, I'll present to myself or like one or two people. Like that's what I assumed. So it was really cool that more than one or two people joined me and really appreciate seeing people in the chat and like the fact that there are other streams on and you guys are choosing to watch me. That's really nice. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, with that, guys.
Let us know your biggest takeaway
Yeah. And
And
we'll
what you're gonna
next
do when
week.
life happens.
and what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And let us know maybe if there's one thing that has been keeping you stuck, if there's one thing that has made you almost quit, share it. Let us know. Bringing it out into the open is the first step, becoming aware of it and bring it out in the open and share it, and then let us know what you're going to do.
Awesome. We'll see you next week.
We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
next week. Bye, everyone.
So, what did we learn? We learned that if our spouse is having a medical emergency, that we have to keep hosting our MLM Zoom call. We learned that I don't know how to cut my bangs because I just cut them before the stream and they're uneven. My bangs are uneven. Oops. We learned that Heather doesn't know how to cut her bangs, so I'm just going to do this and then go make them even after this. We learned that we can't feel sorry for ourselves even if we're experiencing something traumatic. We learned that we can't be a victim even if we actually are. We learned that bad things happen for a reason. Bad things happen if we are like when we are trying to push for a big goal. It's just like the universe's way of like holding us accountable, right? What else did we learn? Melissa had a good one. We learned to turn off your critical thinking and never quit because if you do, then Satan. Yeah, that's the big one. We can never quit because that's Satan trying to ruin our lives. Right? I appreciate that you are so calming. I'm sorry that I missed that replay. Thank you, Charlie. I really appreciate that. That is really nice of you. Barf. Oh, thank you, Latoya. That's so nice. I learned that Satan gives your hubby an asthma attack. Oh, yeah. Like, I appreciate seeing, like, I saw Julie Joe do a video on them. I think I saw Sam D do a video on them. And I like seeing people with, like, big channels do it. Because I think, like, they present themselves as, like, really nice and, like, down to earth people. But then, like, the stuff they say is pretty harmful and it's definitely like pretty toxic in my opinion. If you want to change jobs, it's because of Satan. And me changing my jobs, like I've been able to increase my salary quite a bit because I haven't stayed at the same job. Like I've developed lots of skills and got new experiences at one job, and then I use that to leverage another job, right? And in my career, I've had several jobs. And like each one I've had a little bit more income, right? They're not nice ladies, right? This Satan thing, I just can't wrap my head around that. Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm making a decision that's best for me, best for my family. I've discussed this with my spouse or my significant other. I've really thought this through. No, it's not a rational decision that you made after thinking and analyzing the information that you have access to. No, it is Satan. It is Satan. If you don't join the Church of Beachbody, Satan will ruin your life and nothing good will ever happen to you. Oh my God, I had a dream a long time ago that I was on a plane and I actually saw Carl Deichler and I was like, oh my God, are you Carl Deichler? And then him and I bonded and we like chatted and I pretended to be a Beachbody coach. It was a dream though. It didn't happen in real life. Especially making you feel like if you quit Satan, like what the fuck? And can you imagine like someone who's really religious and maybe a little bit more naive hearing something like that and like getting scared? Like, if I quit, am I not a good Christian? Do I not have a good relationship with God? Am I like going against what God wants by quitting this MLM, right? Like, that's so scary. I could see how that could be really scary. So I think that's all I have. Do I have anything else? I think that's it. Oh my God, that's not a dream. That's a nightmare. I woke up and I told my husband, I was like, I thought that was pretty funny. I just saw Carl Deichler and we bonded. Like he was nice in the dream. I was like, Carl, is that you? So yeah, that's all I have. It looks like I can have access to the anti-MLM subreddit where my Amway tool scam stories that I wanted to read out are. And so, assuming I still have access to it tomorrow, we'll do the Amway tool scam stories tomorrow with my normal Sunday evening stream. I'm really excited because it's like, I know it's just Reddit, so you kind of have to like take it with a grain of salt, but it's interesting to see what it's actually like being in one of these tool scam companies like Brit Worldwide or like Team Mac in Australia, and to like actually see how much time is put into them, and like they get so much homework and they have to go to all these events, and it's like their entire life is dedicated to participating in their Amway tool scam company. So if you're down, come join me at the same time tomorrow. It'd be really cool to hang out with you guys. And again, thank you to all the people who came. I expected like 2 people to be here, so this is really fun. Awesome. All these people are here. Thank you so much, everybody. Yay, looking forward to it. Thank you, Monica. That's so nice. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great evening. Bye, DC. Bye, everyone. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.